Yeah, what up? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another video. So before we get started, you already know what to do. Make sure you smash the like button. All right. Make sure you hit the bell icon twice and drop your boy a comment. Share this video out to all of your social media networks because this is important information. So I actually saw this story originally on the African Diaspora channel, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Tariq Nasheed might have actually tweeted it. But I found this very interesting because for whatever reason, this isn't listed as a hate crime against black people or against immigrants. It just happens to be a crime, and I think that they only got manslaughter or something like that. I'm not sure. So let's actually get into this article and see exactly what happened. And in case you are blind, deaf, or dumb, that is an Asian teenager and a white teenager who set a house on fire that ended up killing an entire Senegalese family. And I don't know how well your brain is functioning, but if it's not functioning properly, let me help you out. Senegalese are people from Senegal. I believe Akon is from Senegal. They're black people, all right? So let's actually see what is going on with this situation. Two teens charged as adult in connection to Denver house fire that killed Senegalese family. Prosecutors are seeking to transfer 15-year-old's case to district court. So these two young men are taught this at that young of an age where at 15 they are trying to take out black people. You know what I'm saying? Two 16-year-olds, Kevin Boy and Gavin Seymour, a 15-year-old male, are facing multiple charges, including first-degree murder for their alleged role in a August 2020 arson homicide in Denver that killed 5 members of a Senegalese family. But they claim all lives matter, though, right? So here it says, Denver. Two 16-year-olds have been charged as adults in the case of a house fire in a Denver neighborhood that killed 5 members of a Senegalese family in August. Now, I'd like to know where the news is as far as calling this a hate crime. I mean, if this was to happen, you know, if the Senegalese people had done something to this Asian boy, it would be all over the news as a hate crime, right? That's what we're doing right now. That's what we're doing in today's world, is anytime there's something that happens to an Asian person, it's a hate crime. Despite the fact that shit like this has been happening to black people for years, and now these people have their kids out here doing it, this ain't considered a hate crime. This is arson homicide. According to court records, Kevin Boy, 16, and Gavin Seymour, 16, have both been charged as adults. Boy faces 46 felony counts, including 5 counts of first-degree murder after deliberation, 5 counts of first-degree murder, extreme indifference, 5 counts of felony murder, multiple counts of attempted murder, first-degree assault with a deadly weapon, first-degree arson, burglary, and conspiracy. Boy also faces 14 potential sentence enhancers for using a weapon or causing death or serious bodily injury in the commission of a violent crime if he is convicted. Yet, no talk of a hate crime. This doesn't qualify as a hate crime, burning people alive. Pushing somebody down qualifies as a hate crime, and we need to talk about it on ABC and NBC and Fox and CNN and Dateline and all of this shit. But burning an entire family alive for whatever reason doesn't constitute as an anti-black crime. But they say all lives matter, though. This is what they say. But remember, it's the people that look like these people that burnt this family alive who talk this all lives matter shit. Okay? The records show the charges were filed in Denver District Court on Monday. Court records did not identify upcoming court dates for the two teenagers charged as adults. The Denver District Attorney's Office formally announced the adult charges for Boy and Seymour on Tuesday afternoon. According to the DA's office, Seymour will also face the same 60 counts as Boy. Court records earlier in the day showed a single first-degree murder count. Carolyn Tyler, a spokesperson for the district attorney's office, said the office was requesting that the 15-year-old's case be transferred from juvenile court to the Denver District Court. Now, just wait for it. Just wait for it. I don't think that this crime will get transferred. I also don't think that much time will be given out for this. And I think that there will also be a public backlash against this. And they will do whatever they can to make it so that these gentlemen, not so gentle, are charged as minors and not charged as adults. They will make sure that that happens as a power play to make sure that you understand that it doesn't matter what the hell happens, as long as it's not, you know, another black person doing it to you. The rest of the population and public at large has free reign to do whatever they want to, including burn the shit out of you and your family alive, and it's just okay. But you gotta remember, according to Bill Mayer and Megyn Kelly, what I'm reading about right now is nothing more than hyperbole. This is complete hyperbole. You know what I'm saying? All lives matter. All right. The arrest affidavits for all three teenagers remain sealed as of Monday afternoon. Members of the family killed in the fire and of the Senegalese community met with prosecutors on Sunday and discussed the possibility that the two suspects would be charged as adults, though no final decision was discussed with the family, and that's because they're not going to do it. The teenagers were arrested Wednesday, almost half a year after the house fire in Denver's Green Valley neighborhood. So these motherfuckers was out free for an entire year to set fire to some other black people if they wanted to. Okay? In addition, a 23-year-old woman named Tina Boy is being investigated in connection to the fire. She was arrested Friday on federal drug and weapons charges. According to an arrest affidavit, she was paying for a cell phone that belonged to a suspect in the arson investigation that had the initials KB. The fire started in the early morning hours of August 5th of 2020 along the 5300 block of the North Truckee Street. Jabril and Adjoa Dole, their 2-year-old daughters Khadija Hassan Diol and her infant daughter Hawa Bai were all killed in a blaze. Damn, that's crazy. A 2-year-old and an infant was also killed in this house fire. The family had immigrated to the area from Senegal. Very sad. Very, nice looking family. What a shame. The same day as the fire, authorities said they suspected arson. By September, they had focused their efforts on identifying 3 masked people caught on surveillance footage in the area at the time. As the month ticked by, authorities increased the reward for information to $50,000 in November. And here they go. This must be the camera right here. And it's the getaway car. During a press conference following the teenagers' arrests, Denver Police Chief Paul Pazin said the department believes the 3 teens are responsible for the crime, but he could not provide much other information in order to protect the integrity of the case. And what this means, protect the integrity of the case, means to protect the dignity of the perpetrators, all right? Because if this was somebody black, they would have had this shit all over the motherfucking place. Since detectives are still investigating, he said they do not believe this was a bias-motivated crime. There you go. They don't believe that this is a bias-motivated crime. You also don't believe that racism exists. You also don't believe that all lives matter. You also do believe that the pyramids were created by aliens. And you also do believe that black people are inherently born at a retard IQ level. So what you believe means absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now, my question is, you don't believe that this was a bias motivated crime, but if somebody runs past and pushes an Asian man down, you do believe that that was a bias motivated crime. So explain the logic. But see, simply because me asking these questions is coming out of my mouth, this is all pseudoscience, hyperbole, and Kang shit. Despite the fact that we're looking at this shit right here. I mean, these two, this white and Asian, burnt an entire home and family down where a 2-year-old and an infant were killed. Now, in Texas, I just did a video about a case where A Latino man stabbed an entire family. Also stabbed a 4-year-old Asian boy, or I'm sorry, a 4-year-old Asian and a 2-year-old Asian toddler. And that was considered a hate crime. And it was considered a hate crime because he said that he did it because he thought that they had coronavirus. Now, we all know that this is Colorado, one of the whitest areas in the United States. And we all know that Asians don't like black people. And we all know that white people historically don't like anybody. You know what I'm saying? So how is this not a hate crime? They killed an entire family. This family will no longer be able to procreate because they murdered every member of the family in the house. The family is done. They made these people extinct. So how is that not a hate crime? Crews tore down the home in the 53 block of North Truckee Street where the fire occurred on Tuesday after the adult charges were announced. So there's that. That's this article here about this disgusting hate crime that they don't want to consider a hate crime because if you do some shit to black people, it's not racist. It's just facts, and facts ain't racist with the dumb shit that these motherfuckers say. All right. Denver police released images of mass suspects after the fire that killed the 5 Senegalese immigrants. All right. And that's why they also keep saying Senegalese, because they want to cover the fact that this white and this Asian teenager murdered this black family in cold blood. So they keep saying Senegalese because that sounds like Japanese. It sounds like Nepalese. You know what I'm saying? Anything that can sound ethnic enough to hide the fact that this was a hate crime against the black family, that's what they're using in the headlines. You've never heard people refer to, you know, Africans, for the most part, with the country that they're from. They only do that shit when they're trying to hide the fact that it was some white people that did a hate crime against some black people. So they're gonna use this Senegalese as much as possible to make it look like this wasn't a hate crime. But even if you try to say that it wasn't a hate crime, and if you say that it wasn't a hate crime against black people, these people were still immigrants. So it was a hate crime against immigrants. But we're gonna not make it a hate crime because, you know, white people can't be racist. That's the new shit, according to you know, Bill Mayer and Megyn Kelly. Denver police officials on Tuesday released a chilling image of 3 masked people suspected of setting a fire that killed 5 Senegalese immigrants, including 2 young children. Djibril Diol, Aja Diol were killed on August 5th alongside their 3-year-old daughter, Khadija. How sad is that? The sister, Hassan, and her infant daughter, Hawa Bai, also died in the fire, according to police. The suspects were dressed in full white face masks and dark hoodies, and they fled the area in a dark-colored 4-door sedan. How sad is that? Look at that little girl. Look at that. Gone. Too soon. So sad. So sad, man. But nobody cares. That's why you don't see this shit in the news. I saw this on African Diaspora channel on YouTube, not in the mainstream media. Djibril and Hassan Diol's brother, Musa Diol, spoke of his loss on August 7th at news conference with authorities. That was my family, my everything, Musa Diol said as he struggled to maintain his composure. It's hard to really talk right now because I'm still heartbroken and so emotional right now, but it hurts. It hurts a lot just to wake up and lose your family like this. Now, me covering this story, there's some prick out there who will say, oh, you know, this is just, these people are emotional. This same person would break and lose their shit and go get an assault rifle from their garage and shoot up an entire neighborhood if this shit happened to them. So I, you know, respect these people a lot for dealing with this and not flipping the fuck completely out. And the fact that the media has not given this story the adequate coverage that it deserves. The fact that the government is hiding this as a hate crime, because we all know that that's exactly what this is, because we all know that little Asian Nazi and that white boy are in Discord talking stupid shit about the bell curve and red pill, you know what I'm saying, MGTOW dumb shit all damn day. You know what I'm saying? Nobody doesn't deserve this. Nobody. No family deserves this. I'm going to miss them a lot. The white boy and the Asian dude just simply look at this as population control. They feel that this isn't racist because they're just doing their job, getting rid of, the underlings of society. And, that's what the rest of the population at large feels as well. That's why you don't see any backlash about this. That's why they don't even have enough respect to consider it a hate crime. And that's why if you say anything about it, you're expected to be under the understanding that the little amount of media coverage that this story got is more than you deserve. So you should be falling at your knees, thanking them for what they've done for you by simply just mentioning it once and then burying it. That's literally the expectation. And if you deviate any way away from that expectation, then you're emotional and you must not have been raised in a two-parent household. That's literally the mind state and the thought process of these people. So again, like I always ask when it comes down to these situations, why do you even try to have a normal conversation with people who are not normal? It literally boggles my mind. The killings have stunned Denver's Senegalese community, and that's because a lot of immigrants, especially African immigrants, are unfortunately under the impression that they can come to the United States and completely hide the fact that they're black. They think that if they become complicit with white supremacy, that everything will be all good. And unfortunately, it's not. You can't hide that shit, man. They don't give a shit whether you're from here or whether you're from another planet. If you're black, when you come to the United States, you got a target on your back. And that's just how it is. Of which the Diols were prominent members. Papa Dia, founder of the African Leadership Group in Denver, said the Denver metro area has about 2,000 Senegalese nationals living there. Members of the community have had their hearts shattered by the killings, Dia said. Now, I'm interested to see what the Senegalese government feels about this and how the United States has addressed this hate crime with the UN. We consider ourselves a part of this society, part of this great nation we call home. Well, that right there is part of your mistake. That right there is a part of your mistake. If people that live here who are not immigrants, people who were born here, if we carry guns to defend ourselves from each other, then you should have definitely had some type of mechanism in place to be able to defend yourself from the entire population at large, because everybody here in the United States is fucked up. This ain't the damn promised land. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they put on the brochures when they recruit immigrants, but whatever it is, apparently that shit is very inaccurate and it's a lot of lies. All right. This is a time we don't want to feel alone. This is the time we want the US born citizens to embrace us. Well, they embraced you with fire, unfortunately. Dia said the only thing that would bring peace to the immigrant community would be for the people responsible for the horrific crime to be identified and brought to justice. There is no justice when a crime is done against black people. You need to understand this. Black people have been fighting for justice ever since we were brought to this country, and they don't think that anything was done wrong. They call it victimization, despite the fact that they were the ones who were the victimizers. You know what I'm saying? The community is living in fear right now because we don't know, Dia said, according to the Denverite. We don't know if we're being targeted. We don't know, and that makes it even more scary. Well, you're clearly being targeted, and clearly, whatever it was, a Molotov cocktail or whatever, that shit didn't miss. It hit the damn target. Damn. I mean, sometimes you just gotta try to figure out like what it is that doesn't sink in about this shit. You're not wanted. The black people that live here, that were born here, are not wanted. Why do you think that you would be embraced? That's not a logical train of thought. It's not a logical thought process. Some members of the Muslim community have pleaded for the investigation to move forward as a hate crime, but the officials said earlier this month that it was too soon to determine the motive behind the fatal fire. It doesn't matter. They killed a whole damn family. And they targeted the family because they were Senegalese. You'd better best believe this is something none of us in this city or in this state or in this nation should stand for, no matter what happened. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock said one day after the fire, according to CBS Denver. Yeah, and this guy probably has ancestors who probably did worse than this to some people. So that's like hardly meaningless at all coming from him. Murphy Robinson, the city's executive director of the public safety, on August 7th, offered his condolences on behalf of the city. I can't imagine the pain you're feeling from such a tragic and violent loss, Robinson said, but I want you to know that the Denver family is with you. I want you to know that we're going to work hard to find out who committed this violent act. As long as you understand that it's not a hate crime because we said so. As long as you understand that, you're okay. Metro Denver Crime Stoppers and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives are offering a $14,000 reward for information in the case. Authorities said in the Daily Fire, it broke out around 2:30 a.m. on August 5th at the family's home at 5312 North Truckee Street in the Green Valley Ranch neighborhood. Denver fire officials said that the fire was heavily involved when firefighters arrived. The video, recorded by multiple witnesses, shows flames erupting from the home. I really hope they got outside, a neighbor is heard saying in one video. Well, guess what? They didn't. Guess what? They didn't. Let's take a look at this.
I really hope they got outside. I really hope they got outside. Did somebody wake up AJ?
Yeah, they were all ran out.
Okay.
They're gone. I just don't want it to spread.
Or something to blow.
How did it start? That's crazy.
I really hope they got outside. I really hope they got outside.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. New video from neighbor in Green Valley Ranch investigating as arson and 3 adults and 2 children died. Investigators still on scene as of this tweet. Another neighbor told me they turned over surveillance video to police, but wouldn't share what was caught on the cam. Well, of course they wouldn't share. Why would they? A neighbor woke up to this: massive flames engulfing a home in Green Valley Ranch. 5 people died, 1 toddler, 1 child, and 3 adults. 3 others escaped by jumping from the 2nd story. Firefighters found evidence of arson. Police are also investigating this as a homicide, but just make sure you understand that if you push someone down, it's a hate crime. If you burn someone's house down the way that the KKK used to burn down houses in black churches, in this ritualistic and symbolic crime that this Asian and white Nazi did to this black family, it's not a hate crime. This shit is debatable. According to Megyn Kelly and Bill Mayer, it's hyperbole, pseudoscience, and gang shit. That's crazy. That house is completely burnt the hell up. Neighbor Maria Mendoza told the Associated Press she woke up to some noise and someone screaming, "Get the baby out, get the baby out." She said she ran to a window and saw flames and smoke pouring out of the home. I awoke to my husband and he ran outside to see if he could help, but there was nothing he could do. The fire was too big, Mendoza said. The first police officers to arrive at the scene attempted to get through the flames to rescue those still inside, but they were pushed back by the heat. 3 adults inside the house at the time of the fire were able to jump from a 2nd floor window and escape, police officers said. The rest of the family perished. Man, that shit is crazy. Look at that shit. Wow. Chief Joe Montoya, Division Chief of Investigations for Denver Police Department, said detectives determined early in the investigation that the fire was intentionally set. So they already know that this shit was done on purpose. Police officers and fire officials called in the ATF to assist in the probe. Montoya pleaded for information in the case as he stood next to a photo of Jabril and Ajadol, their daughter. I want people to see pictures of this family and understand that this family was thriving. See, this family was thriving. They were doing good. That breaks the narrative right there because they say that all of us are retards. That's what the population at large says. That's public policy here in the United States, which is why we had slavery in this country for 400 years. Miss me with the bullshit of trying to say that's not what they believe. They were heading in the right direction, said Montoya. Dole was doing all the things he needed to do to provide his family with amazing life in America. All that was cut short on one day. And who doesn't like to see brown people do well in America? Asians and white people. And who killed this family? An Asian boy and a white boy.
Thank you for being here today. My name is Joe Montoya, Joemontoya. I'm the Division Chief of Investigations for the Denver Police Department. I want to start with listing some of the people in attendance today, and then we'll go through a series of speakers to kind of break down why we're here.
This video right here is 21 minutes long, so what I will do is I will link this video in the description box for no one to watch. All right. He asked that members of the public with information on the killings look into their heart and do the right thing. Do it for the right reasons. We need to find these individuals or individual, and we have been able to hold them accountable for what they did on that day, Montoya said. And since they have found them, we owe this to that family. We owe this to the Senegalese community. We owe it to the country of Senegal. Yes, you absolutely do. And what's interesting is the country of Senegal's lack of involvement in this. Because if this had happened to people from some other country, trust me, they would be involved. Senegalese President Macky Sall offered his condolences. So he offered his condolences, but he didn't offer no missiles. I was moved to learn of the death of 5 of our compatriots in a massive fire in Denver, Sall tweeted in French, the West African country's official language. And that's a problem right there, because why is French official language in an African country? There should be no European language as an official language in Africa, ever. You know what I'm saying? I extended my heartfelt condolences to the families of the victim and wish a speedy recovery to the injured. It is a very serious matter that we are following closely. The language barrier has made the city's response to the fire more challenging. At the August 7th news conference, Montoya had a police officer fluent in French read the bulletin from Crime Stoppers for those who might have information but did not speak English. Senegal Consul General Eladji Nadal flew to Denver following the fire at Sall's request. He attended the news conference with local officials and visited the crime scene to meet with Diol and family members and members of the community. We trust and have confidence in the legal system in this country. Well, that's a problem right there. That's a big problem right there. You cannot do that. And we have confidence that the investigation will take its course and what is proper in terms of diligence will be done, Dale said, according to Associated Press. Montoya thanked the Senegalese community, who he said turned out en masse at the scene of the fire this morning. They were an integral part of helping the immediate family members through that process because it was very difficult, Montoya said. They've been by their sides ever since. Djibril Diol, nicknamed Djb by his family, came to the U.S. from Senegal more than 10 years ago, according to the Islamic Center for Fort Collins. Well, they clearly murdered these people not only because they were immigrants, because they were black, and now also because they were Muslim. He graduated in December 2018 with a degree in civil engineering from Colorado State University. So this is a college graduate. A college graduate. According to a profile by CSU, Diol was the first in his family to graduate from college. His goal, he told the university, was to someday build roads and infrastructure in rural Senegal. So this was absolutely a hate crime because this man had plans to go back to his country and provide value to the country and to keep Africa a mess, a shithole country, as the United States government designated African nations. This white boy and this Asian Nazi killed him. First, however, he wanted to learn more from the industry in U.S. and possibly earn a graduate degree. God forbid. God forbid you don't be a welfare leech. God forbid you don't be a Dusty. God forbid you try to do something with yourself, because no one wants to see that. Other black people don't want to see that. Neither do the population at large. You're a rap. You're literally fighting against everybody if you're a black person attempting to achieve education here in the United States, which is very sad, because half of that you shouldn't be fighting against. You can learn from the bigger picture here in the US and apply it to the smaller picture back at home. I don't know, man. The United States is its own animal. I don't know if you can apply this shit anywhere except for the depths of hell. You know what I'm saying? You learn things you didn't think about doing before, things you can apply to the places you want to build for tomorrow. At the time of his death, Diol worked for Kaiwit Construction. Co-workers of his joined the family as the Muslim community held a day of mourning for Diol and his family the day after the fire. Now, there's people that are celebrating this because this man was a Muslim and he was killed. And you know the anti-Muslim sentiment here in the United States, people just think it's okay to just knock Muslims off because they believe that all Muslims are, you know, bad people, because they feel some kind of way about Ilhan Omar. They feel that all Muslims should die. You know what I'm saying? And they literally say this stuff freely, and then when shit like this happens, after pumping these ideas into people's heads, they want to turn around and say, well, we don't believe that this is a hate crime. We don't believe that this is a hate crime. When the United States is one of the #1 Islamophobic countries in the world, you want to sit there and say that this shit wasn't a hate crime. There's so many different categories of hate crime that this shit could fall into. There's no possible way in hell that this shit wasn't a hate crime, other than the fact that I'm white and I say it's not a hate crime. That's the only possible way that it's not a hate crime. And you know that that's the fucking law. You know what I'm saying? So there it is. For them to get a chance to pay their respects with the family and the community is just really important. Jason Provosek, a manager for Kaiwit, told the news station. It goes to show that being a good person and working really hard will do to pull people together. But it didn't do anything to be a fire retardant. That's the damn problem. Nobody cares about this pulling people together shit, because 5 people are dead as a result of people being together. The fuck? Prosvek said Diol had a positive attitude, a smile you'd never forget, and a strong work ethic. The Islamic Center wrote that Diol was using his job to help his family, both in the US and back home. He was very respectful, helpful, bright, religious man, and an energetic person who was a help to his family that lived in the United States and to the majority that still resided in Senegal. A post on the center's Facebook page reads, "He was a tall man with an even bigger heart. We ask Allah to forgive the misdeeds, accept the good deeds, and to make strong of faith and patience of the family and friends who are now mourning his loss." It's not enough. Praying to these gods that ain't native to you is not doing shit to help. That could possibly be the damn problem. You're praying to energies that aren't native and designed for you. Allah's not yours either. I hate to tell you. People need to wake up. Stop listening to the coffee cup stir, please. Hancock, the mayor, joined Diol's community at August 6th, the day of mourning. The CBS affiliate reported. The mayor called the fire a tremendous tragedy. You think? And of course, it's a black mayor. We want them to stand arm in arm with them. See, they want us to be best friends with these people that kill us. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, man. Stop with that shit. Again, this is what Dr. Claude Anderson said when he was talking about that inappropriate behavior shit. People need to stop expecting us to stand hand in hand with any damn body. I'm not standing hand in hand with motherfuckers that are trying to kill entire families out here. The fuck? That is insanity. That sounds crazy. To anybody else, that would sound crazy. But black people are expected to accept it. They're expected to accept it so much that you have a immigrant family like this family who went up and hugged Amber Geiger after she killed their son. The fuck? And that shit is just okay. You would not expect a white person, an Asian person, or a Latino person to go up and embrace someone who killed your son. But that is literally what is expected of us. Do you see the level of insanity? And these motherfuckers want to complain about a fucking postcard. No. Not at all. Hancock was one of many people who shared the link to a GoFundMe page set up to help the family with funeral costs and other expenses, and it raised close to $200,000. So I'm gonna get this link for this GoFundMe. Let's actually see where it's at right now. $217,907. That's awesome, man. That's amazing. Congratulations to that family. And people are actually literally complaining about this. I watched a video where Tim Pool was talking about GoFundMe pages and victim mentality. He must have been talking about this shit. Like, are you serious? They were the victims. You know what I'm saying? Some white boy and some Asian boy that looked like you motherfucking burned their damn family up. They were the victims. The fuck? So anyway, here it says, I'm so sorry for your loss, and I'm so sorry that this kind of hate exists in the world, a woman wrote. I hope you find some sort of peace, and I carry space for you and loved ones in my heart. I'm so sorry for the loss to this beautiful family, a Denver resident wrote. I live in Green Valley Ranch, and though we have not met, you are my neighbor. So basically, you know, this is just a lot of condolences and, you know, people feeling sorry, and this is some sad shit. And what's even more sad is that the population at large doesn't even have the honesty or integrity, you know what I mean, to say that this was a hate crime. Look at this. Denverite, no hate crime. They put this first right here. No hate crime investigation. They're not even investigating this shit for a hate crime, but if a black crackhead pushes an Asian down, it's a damn hate crime. But a Asian and a white boy torched a family of black people who was actually trying to get an education here in the United States to go back to their country to build infrastructure there, which they show enough damn negative press of Africa on the TV. So clearly they do need the infrastructure. This should be a motherfucking international crime is what the fuck it should be. International damn hate crime and act of terrorism is what the fuck this actually was. But these motherfuckers is getting a slap on the wrist. Because we don't want to, because we just can't possibly believe that an Asian or a white person committed a damn hate crime against a Senegalese family, despite the fact that hate crimes are the motherfucking reason why most of us are here. Are you serious? And then you literally have people that say that all of this shit is myth. It's pseudoscience, hyperbole, and Kang shit, according to Megyn Kelly and Bill Maher. With the level of weed torching Bill Maher's brain, you would think that these race soldier kids actually threw a damn Molotov cocktail into his face and he caught it with his mouth and it burnt his damn brain up. The type of dumbass shit this motherfucker says. Like, you cannot make this shit the fuck up. Police said the fire was deliberately set, but few details were provided during the briefing. The victim of the fire were also identified. So despite all of this, the one thing that we're not going to do is we're going to keep the hate statistics down against black people by not investigating this as a hate crime. Unbelievable. I mean, immigrant, Muslim, black, killed the whole damn family. Not even going to look into it as a hate crime. A crackhead pushes a Asian elderly person down in the hood, and it's a hate crime. It's a hate crime sanctioned by President Trump. Like, you cannot make this shit up. Police said the fire was deliberately set, but few details were provided during the briefing. The victims of the fire were also identified. This is so sad. And the babies, they killed a damn 3-year-old and an infant. Just unreal, dude. It's unreal. And they do everything not to show these little deviant motherfuckers' faces, too. Denver authorities on Wednesday announced the arrest of 3 teenagers accused of setting an August house fire that killed 5 members of the city's Senegalese community, including 2 children. 2 16-year-old boys and 1 15-year-old boy each face a total of 28 felony charges, including 10 first-degree murder charges. And they still have the audacity to not investigate this shit for being a hate crime. They also face attempted first-degree murder charges as well as multiple counts of first-degree assault, burglary, and arson. Look at this shit. Look at this. Young family, vibrant family, beautiful family, gone. The man had got a civil engineering degree and wanted to go back to Senegal. I mean, he was trying to do some positive shit. Isn't it funny how these people always take out these black people that break the narrative? Isn't that interesting? I honestly think that it's part of the eugenics movement, in my opinion. Any black person that breaks the narrative, that's getting good grades, that's doing something positive, they have to kill those people so that they cannot reproduce, so that they can't create other black people who are doing things like them. And you notice that it's the white and the Asian people who always stalk those people, find out about what they're doing, see their plans, where they're working, and how they're progressing in life, and then they kill them and their entire family. This shit has been going on for a long time here in the United States, but somehow this isn't a hate crime. Like I said, most black people here in the United States are here as a result of a motherfucking hate crime. My first and last name are the result of a motherfucking hate crime. The fuck? That's the motherfucking reality. Sorry if it hurts your feelings. The audacity of some of this shit sometimes is just fucking simply mind-boggling. The lack of accountability and responsibility that some of these motherfuckers have for the mess that they created. You know what I'm saying? So that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you smash the like button on the way out. Make sure you hit the links at the end of the video. Make sure you drop your boy a comment. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the bell icon twice, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.